Welcome back to Hatebreed Radio, where it's all Hatebreed all the time.
Positive yelling 24/7.
So if you enjoyed the first half of our conversation, it's going to be much more of the same. Spoiler alerts. I mean, you know what Hatebreed sounds like.
Positive yelling.
So let's get into it. All right. So the next album
Here we go.
that we're going to be talking about is Hatebreed's self-titled album. They released it in September of 2009. I'll admit, this was the point in their discography where I kind of checked out for a little while. I didn't hear this album or the next one for several years after they had come out.
Interesting.
It wasn't for any particular reason, though, other than streaming wasn't very big yet. I didn't really have the money to go buy physical albums at the time. I was kind of poor and just a little bit out of touch with the music scene in general. So it was kind of cool, when I finally did go back and revisit this album. I do have to say, though, I don't have any nostalgia tied to this album for that reason. So this will probably be as close to an unbiased review as you can get.
Here we go.
So this one starts with the track Become the Fuse. As far as openers go, pretty damn good.
Yeah.
You got the thrashy Slayer style riffing during the verses with the hardcore rhythms during the chorus and the bridge. What'd you guys think?
Yeah, there's lots of groove and energy to open the album. It's a good opener.
Yeah, Become the Fuse. Sounds shitty. Really muddy and thinner than the thick, meaty sound they've been building over the years. Lame riffs, unimpressive beginning.
Not my master. Some really cool leads in this song. I think give it a kind of a fresh feel compared to some of the older stuff. Definitely a big serving of PMA in this song.
The signature catchy chorus into a huge breakdown with the lyric, "This day is worth living, this fight is worth fighting. This hope is worth hoping. What I walk away from is not my master."
Yeah, it takes a while, but this one has some pretty badass riffs in it. But as a whole, not a good song. The drums seem uninterested.
Just the drums, not the drummer.
Well, that's what he's playing.
The drums are not interested in what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody's checked out on the
Those drums said, "You're not my master."
So Between Hell and a Heartbeat is next. I love how this one starts out really slow and dirgy, and then it turns into a mid-tempo groove fest. The main riff is
evil.
I think it's one of the best in any Hatebreed song.
Yeah.
I like some groove in my Hatebreed. I like it.
Me too. The way this track builds is a standout for Hatebreed because they don't do that often. Or maybe they're just right into it. This one has a little bit build to it.
Definitely.
The riff is almost cool. I think they rushed it. I think they put like some more work into it. This one would have came out way cooler. I think they just kind of like jammed out this riff like, oh, cool, we'll make a song. I think if they'd have put some more work, they could have developed into something way cooler than what it is. Didn't like it.
In Ashes, They Shall Reap is the next song. Here's our obligatory big anthemic track. Definitely made for the live performance. Got a little crowbar style singing in this one. Definitely walking the line of what's considered Hatebreed's signature sound there. They were kind of, I think, testing the waters there to see how the fans would react with that different singing style.
It's a pretty simple track, but the lyrical content and the gang chants always made this one a standout for me. So you had the lyric, "Born to bleed, fighting to succeed, built to endure what this world throws at me." There's some of that positive stuff. You got to love it.
I think this is the first time you can actually hear Beatty on the album. It's a weak-ass song, nothing going on. Pretty early on the album for filler riffs, I think. And Josta's trying some like Shadows Fall type stuff, I thought, with the vocal stuff.
I can hear that too, yeah.
Not a good song, but I do like that he's going in a different direction there.
Hands of a Dying Man is next. I'm kind of curious what Justin thought of this song because this one's got major old school Slayer vibes, including an actual guitar solo.
Yeah, the opening riff, and it goes right into two-stepping kind of madness with lightning quick solos. They picked up the pace here, definitely. I did like this one.
Yeah, I like this one too. It's thrashy, moshy, mean riffing, nice ripper of a solo. Mostly it stands out for not sucking.
Everyone bleeds now.
Yeah.
Everyone bleeds now. Everyone bleeds now.
More mid-tempo groove. If this shit doesn't get your head banging, you might be Bobby.
Those opening drums right into the lyric, "You fucking bleed now." Yeah, let's fucking go.
Yeah, Everyone Bleeds Now. This should have been the title track, I think. It's catchy. It's got the big chuggas they're known for, but it also shows the direction the guys on the guitars are taking things. The mix is a bit cleaner than the other tracks. Everyone Bleeds Now would have been a cooler name for the album than Self-Titled.
I do agree with that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll give you
Everyone
that.
Bleeds Now sounds like a fucking album, doesn't it?
Yeah, fair enough.
No halos for the heartless.
Hmm.
Starting out with some woes.
Got no
Mm-hmm.
That always plays well to the live crowd, though, so I get it. Just two-stepping hardcore goodness on this one. I like it.
Yeah.
Track has some cool groove to it the entire time and some standout drumming and singing. Here it is for the first time ever in a Hatebreed track. Yeah, it's like gang singing, but it's there, and I think it sounds pretty good.
Fucking woes. Didn't see that coming
Woes.
No,
at all. And then some regurgitated riffs. Didn't like that.
you're a black cloud over this album.
Yes.
Shit.
Through the Thorns.
Sounds cool.
That's Bobby the Thorn.
This is
Born to be a thorn in your side.
it's a perfectly good song, but it feels like a middle of the album type song. Like it just doesn't really stand out from the back.
Yeah, it does have a lot of bounce to it. You can't help but bob your head to this one. And I do love the bass riffing throughout. Did you check out the bass in this one, Bobby?
Yes, I checked out the bass. This is another half-ass riff that could have been cooler with a little bit of work, like the earlier song. But it does get into a pretty badass groove on the back end. It's one of the better tunes, actually.
Everlasting Scars, the next song. Now, this one I really dig. It's got like a fun, thrashy, like municipal waste type vibes musically.
Mm.
And then Josta's doing kind of the Kingdom of Sorrow style vocals again. That was a pretty good song.
Municipal Waste, it's about the same area up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Northeast.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I get that. Weak as fuck song, Total Skipper.
As Damaged as Me is the next song. This is not a favorite of mine.
Mm.
I find the lyrics to be kind of cringy, super repetitive, and even the breakdown riff sounds derivative of several other Hatebreed songs. This one should have just been left off the album, in my opinion.
And this middle section here, this and words become untruth also is, yeah.
As Damaged as Me. This is the 5th time they've written this song. It's just filler bullshit.
Yeah, we were on the same page with that one. So Words Became Untruth is the next song. This one I think is pretty cool. I think the lyrics I like more than the actual music. But that said, it does have a really cool breakdown. Much better than the last song.
Not good. More filler.
Undiminished is next. A Hatebreed instrumental. That's definitely a rarity. This one, I think they really nailed it, though. It's a really well-composed song with some beautiful guitar parts and a little bit of keyboard thrown in at the very end.
Mm-hmm. I always like this instrumental leading into the final 2 tracks. When, as you mentioned, the keyboard, there's some experimenting going on here.
Garbage.
Are you gonging this album? It
Is it
sounds
hot,
like
is
it.
it hot
Jesus.
garbage?
No, it was
Warm-
hot garbage,
warm garbage?
but now it's like cooled, a couple days old garbage.
It's like lukewarm garbage.
It's like a Chinese food restaurant dumpster after a spring rain. Garbage.
After a spring rain.
Spring rain because it smells worse or what?
Well, you got the pollen in the air and the humidity.
So a Florida spring rain,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
like we just had recently.
Mm-hmm.
Merciless Tide. I like this one. Straight thrash metal ripper, complete with another solo. We're getting a lot of solos. This is a new thing for this band.
Yeah, other than the solo, the experiment of the last song is pretty much over. We're right back into the formula that works. This track's pretty brutal.
Yeah, this one's pretty good, man. It's got some energy, got cool riffs. I would have put it up front on this boring ass record.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Pollution of the Soul
Well,
is the closing track.
it is.
I had to look at you guys to make sure it was in fact the closing track.
It is.
So this song it's fine. I don't think it was the best choice for the closer. There's some nice chugging in here. The song's not overtly catchy. The last 30 seconds of the track are probably the best part of the whole song.
So this isn't the first time we heard this either. I mentioned this track in the Supremacy review. It was a bonus track on that album. I forgot that it had come back around on this album as the closer when I had mentioned that. But I do love the guitar work here. And there's a constant assault on the drums, one last bouncy breakdown to close it out.
Yeah, these guys are pretty good about a closer, but after hearing this album, you really shouldn't be expecting much. Not a good one. I'm glad it was over. Shitty production, weak songs, lackluster delivery. It's cool. Josh is trying some different things here, but none of it was good. 2 songs I liked, and they're not even great. This album fucking sucks. Hatebreed self-titled album's a goddamn 2.
So this album is more accessible than previous efforts, and I think that's why Bobby's not liking it.
I don't like it to be accessible.
So they do try a few new
Make it
things
as
here.
difficult as possible for me to listen to.
But I don't think they lose what makes Hatebreed Hatebreed. We still get aggressive riffs, some pretty cool grooves, some big breakdowns, meaningful lyrics, and of course those gang chants that will hype anyone up that's not named Bobby. But there's a few tracks on the back half that are just kind of filler. The 3-track run that we mentioned with Everlasting Scar, As Damaged as Me, and Words Became Untruth, which brings it down compared to the last few albums. This is still a solid effort and a fun listen overall. Self-titled gets a 4.5 out of 6 from me.
Yeah, overall, I think it's another solid album from Hatebreed. Did it make sense to call this the self-titled album?
Yeah, it was dumb.
Yeah. But
Nah,
it rarely
yeah.
does.
Plenty cool title tracks you could have went with. You know what I mean?
It's usually a gamble to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think this album is the best representation of what Hatebreed does.
Mm-mm.
As Justin already said, there was more experimentation on this album than I've ever heard on a Hatebreed album.
Mhm.
And for that reason alone, I don't think it should have been called it shouldn't have been self-titled.
Yeah.
But what do I know? It's not my band.
I think no bullshit, like not to derail your thing, but I think the self-titled in the middle of a catalog, I think it comes down to like the band members couldn't agree on what to call it, so in fairness, they go with a self-titled.
I guess.
That's
for
really the only
me-
logical explanation.
Yeah, and for me, I always want the self-titled to like
It should be
really-
awesome.
Yeah, and really represent
Mm.
that
band.
band.
Yeah,
you know,
and this doesn't.
it doesn't.
Mm-mm.
It's the beginning of a transition, which we'll get into.
Yeah. I still think it's a pretty good album. It's got a few of my favorite Hatebreed songs on it, but as far as how it stacks up against the previous albums, I mean, not well. I think I really have no choice but to rank this one lower. Hatebreed's self-titled album is a 4 out of 6 upside down
Yeah, 4
pentagrams.
still not bad.
No, I didn't think it was a bad album, but it was compared to other Hatebreed albums. It's kind of just boring, just kind of. As Bobby said, regurgitated. There's a lot of just kind of the same tropes that they did before, and then they try some weird stuff and
They have a
here
formula.
and there. Like it just didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, 4 is not bad, like you said.
Nope.